This is Dr. Troy Fullerton from Bilingual Barrier Busters, and tonight I want to talk about reasons for becoming bilingual that maybe you haven't thought of before. Uh, I wish I had a dollar for every time somebody asks me, usually in an unguarded moment, what good it is to become bilingual. If you already speak English, why should you worry about learning Spanish? What are you ever going to do with it? Oh my goodness. I often tell people, look, if I only had one arm, but I lived in a society where everybody had one arm, well, I wouldn't miss it because society would be geared for people like me. Everything would be set up for one-armed people. But what if you lived in a society like that, but you had two arms? You think you'd find a use for that other arm? Of course you would. It's the same way when you have bilingual skills. If you speak English, and that's your only language, but you live in a society where the vast majority of people only speak English, well, everything is geared for you. Yeah, you can get by quite nicely probably in your own little world with that one language. But imagine you had another language. Imagine you spoke Spanish. Well, all of a sudden now you've got direct access to over 20 countries. You can get their news, their music. You can talk to their people directly. You can read their literature. You can even get on the internet or on your phone apps and read their news and see what they have to say about the United States without having to worry about anything being filtered or censored through your news services. Everything you're currently doing in English, the YouTube, Quora, Google, etc. Just about everything you currently do in English, there's a whole parallel world going on in Spanish. And you have direct access to all of that. Becoming bilingual opens doors for you and gives you accessibility that you wouldn't have otherwise. And let's just be realistic. Spanish is the second most used language in the United States. Can you go out in public anywhere without running into people who speak Spanish? Probably not. And if you're bilingual, you have direct access to that community. And another thing, if you were an outsider and you learned that language as a second language, that kind of gives you a special level of entree because you took the time to become a part of that community.